When last we left our heroes, they were in the exact same place because we didn't play this week. This was bound to happen, and it's probably one reason I said, hey, Lars, let's build up a few episodes before we get to the point that we miss an episode and suddenly I'm having to scramble because we don't have something to do this week. Well, luckily, I have something to do this week, and it has to do with some of my world building. In this case, building the gods of Adraeon. My name is Patrick, and this is the Campaign Diary. Now, when you're setting up your campaign, there are a lot of options in D&D 5th edition. Every version of D&D has a basic pantheon of gods, from the lawful good to the chaotic evil, from the lawful evil to the chaotic good, and all the ones in between that. In 3rd edition, in Pathfinder specifically, I remember they had a nice, good, solid set of deities. In 5th edition, they have 4 or 5 sets of deities, plus classic deities like the Norse deities, the Greek deities, the Egyptians. They've got them all. So you can either build your own set of deities from there, or you can use just a pre-made set. I think with my first campaign with Lars, I just took the Greyhawk deities. I said, let's see here, you're neutral good, you're kind of an elf, kind of foresty. Alona is going to be your deity. That sounds good to you? Yes, awesome. We have a deity, yay! And she showed up too. That was the awesome part. She was just hanging around with her bow, just watching and enjoying. And he didn't get it until afterwards, when I said, yeah, that was your deity, bitch. For my next campaign, I wanted to have something that was a little more mine, something I could kind of tweak around and adjust, and I didn't have to deal with the history of D&D and all the crap that might involve from there. So, let's talk. When I started this, I thought neutral is pretty much the position of the universe. So my deity, not being good, he is a neutral being. I had been looking through some of the early stuff in the history of Middle-earth, the Silmarillion, for example, and there was the first deity in there was named Arda, A-R-D-A. I always hated that. It was just sounded sloppy and horrible, so I just flipped some letters, and Adra was born. Adra's neutral. He's the beginning, the father, the source, the one above all. As you can see, I'm kind of loading the god metaphors here because that's pretty much what he is. He is the center of existence. Where he came from and how he began is beyond the knowledge of anybody other than I created him. That's pretty much it. He came to this realm with his brothers. His brothers are named Scalus and Yeffel. I forget my exact naming conventions. I think Yeffel was actually variation on evil. Scalus is neutral good. I kind of draw from the idea of scales, of balance. Adra came with his brothers and his wife, Mavra. Mavra is the mother of the world. Pretty much anything that existed in the early world was born of her. They had 2 children, Sion, the son, the Lord of Order, and Libere, the daughter, the free spirit of chaos. Of course, this being deities, you know you've got to have incest and shit like that, because that's what deities do in a lot of these pantheons. Look it up, Zeus. Yeah, he pretty much, anything that moved.
Yeah. I'm Zeus. I'm giving. Yeah, my name is Zeus.
So, of course, the brothers of Adra, in this case, Yeffel being the evil one, decided he wanted children, so he raped Mavra, producing the evil Damara, the lawful evil god, and Hamel, the pure chaotic evil psycho demon. Also known as the Agent of Chaos, the god who laughs. If you look at the name Hamel, it bears resemblance to a certain voice of a certain DC character who also happened to play Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's where I got that one. So yeah, this is the fun of naming your own deities. You get to pull from wherever. And I know I'm pulling back the entire curtain here, but that's the whole point of this video, is to pull back the curtain and let you see exactly how I created all this stuff. So Mavra, in the Supreme Sacrifice, realizing that with evil in the world multiplying, her only choice was to give birth to good, gave herself to Scalius, and produced Osric, also known as the Paladin, the Righteous One, the Truthsayer, and Rabin, the Crusader, the Avenger, the Hooded One. Wonder where I got Osric. Well, I borrowed that from a certain paladin from a certain movie from a certain group out in Washington. And Rabin, if you replace the A with an O and the Y with an I, it marks a certain character that's often known as chaotic good. So, after Mavra was raped by Yeffel and gave herself to Scalius, she left this world. She left existence as far as we know, and invested what was left of her power in Adra, who now rules alone as the neutral deity above all. So that is pretty much that pretty much covers all 9 alignments. So I had to come up with a few other things. First of all, from here on out, I can pretty much create little deities that spin off of any of my 9 alignment deities. My alignment deities represent higher ideals and concepts. Use those as I need to. So some other ones I came up with was the elemental deities. The elemental deities are primal forces, tamed and shaped into deities by Adra himself, as he set out the ordered chaos of this world. So they're generally worshipped by spellcasters and others who favor a particular element in their casting or in their work. The gods themselves are neutral alignment, though they tend to favor either law or chaos. As you can see, my focus with these deities is to make them leaning towards neutral, except my alignment deities. Neutral is a good position because that way characters can embrace them for good or evil, for law or chaos, depending. Now, I created 4 deities, obviously, for the 4 elements. Toeth, the earth goddess, Le, the fire god, Ang, the air god, and Kara, the water goddess. If you kind of look at the names as they're printed, you can probably draw a few conclusions, especially with Ang, the air god. I wonder what Nickelodeon series involving a certain avatar they got that from. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That's the cool thing. You can borrow from anywhere, and I change it enough to make it work. The point is, I change it enough to make it my own. Little borrowing never hurt, especially on your home campaign. You can pretty much steal from the best, and as long as you're not trying to make money, and it's mostly just for your home campaign, you're good. So that's pretty much the main deities. I came up with some other deities because I had certain requirements. For example, the goddess of music, the patron of bards, is the maiden, since my player that plays bards is a fan of a certain band named Iron Maiden, and his god is Saint Hetfield, which is a saint not that elevated to deity status. I created Saint Flora, who's a healer. Let's see who else I've got here. I got Arnold, the Slayer. He's basically for barbarians and the like. I wonder who I got. And because I'm running a dragon-themed campaign, Blazu is my lawful neutral god of dragons. All my dragons in this campaign are going to be female. And they were all born of Madra. And from her eggs came the chromatic dragons, the metallic dragons, and the gemstone dragons, which once I can get some stats, they're going to appear. I'm going to have neutral dragons in this campaign one day. Depends on a certain guy by the name of Matt Colville. If he ever gets Strongholds and Followers book out, then I will be borrowing from that heavily. So that's everything I have. Now, as I go along, I'm probably going to create more gods. I'm going to just populate as I need gods. And this is what you can do. You can tweak, adjust, move your gods, do whatever you want with them. It's your campaign. Go wild. You're the creator of everything. Anything can be a god. This bottle of pills could be the god. You can stick the flying spaghetti monster in. You can have Dekus, the god of chance, named after dice. And, of course, his symbol is going to be a D20 because you're a gamer! Okay, so that's it. Hopefully, we will get some D&D played this week, and next week we'll have a brand new campaign where we are going to dig into the Sunless Citadel. I'll tell them that because Lars already knows, and it will be awesome. So, if you've enjoyed this, like, subscribe, all that stuff that I always tell everybody, that everybody else tells people to do. I kind of forget to do it because I thought if you liked it, you'd subscribe, and that's it. So until next time, we're out.